Hello, Wisconsin.
I know.
For those of you who don't know me, which is most of you, I'm Mike Pence. And just a few short weeks ago, I was honored and humbled beyond words to be nominated to run and serve as the next Vice President of the United States of America.
I could see.
And I gotta tell you, I joined this campaign in Albany. The phone call came 11 o'clock at night with my wife and my son.
Stand over here, you can see better.
I heard that familiar voice on the other end. He said to me, Mike, it's gonna be great. And I said, yes, because you've nominated a man for president who never quits. He never backs down. He's a fighter, he's a winner, and until very recently it looked like he was out there fighting all on his own, but now we are united, this movement is united, and we're going to elect Donald Trump to be the next president. And to get to know this good man, I just have to tell you, I come from south of Highway 40 in Indiana. We talk kind of straightforward and plain down there. And all I can tell you is Donald Trump gets it, right? I mean, he understands the frustrations and the aspirations of the American people more than any other leader in my lifetime since Ronald Reagan. He's a genuine article. He's a doer in a game usually reserved for talkers. And when Donald Trump does his talking, he doesn't go tiptoeing around all those rules of political correctness. Class lays in the way of men and women that are trying to make a difference. He says it like it is, and he will make America great again. The funny thing is, the party in power seems helpless to figure out our nominee. And of course, I'm referring to the media. I mean, think about it. I mean, the Democrats and the media kind of got the same problem. I mean, they all keep telling each other that the usual methods are going to work against him. They keep thinking they've done him in, that this has come up, and now it's all over. And then you turn on the TV the next morning, and Donald Trump is still standing stronger than ever before. The man has got resilience. He's an extraordinary leader. And he's never forgotten. He's never forgotten the men and women who work with their hands, who grow the food, who build our roads and bridges, tend to our sick, teach our kids. A lifetime of a builder. As a builder, a lifetime of building structures around the world. He's done shoulder to shoulder with the men and women that raise those structures to the sky. It really is extraordinary. He's never forgotten. He's never forgotten the people that do the work in uniform as well. His devotion to our soldiers and to our veterans comes straight from his heart. And Donald Trump will stand with those in uniform and stand with those who have served. And I'll tell you what, as Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States of America, President Donald Trump will support our law enforcement community with the resources that they need to do the job, to protect our families, and come home safe to them. Donald Trump will be a president who restores law and order to every city and every community in this great nation.
Hear that shit, Kevin?
It really is pretty amazing. I mean, at the very moment when America is crying out for something different, crying out for new leadership that'll take our nation back in the direction of strength. The other party has answered with a stale agenda and the most predictable of names. You know, people in both parties are restless for change. They're ready to break free, but the other party's actually nominated someone who represents everything this country's tired of. I mean, did you see that speech the other night?
No, I'm gonna watch that trash.
Honestly, I watched most of it. Actually, I watched most of the speech. I didn't really see all of it. I actually had as hard a time staying awake as her husband did. It was, okay, well, you know, it was long, and it was late. It wasn't just that though. It was just the same old, same old. Did you notice that? I mean, more taxes, more spending, more borrowing, more bailouts, and more Obamacare. And just this week in Omaha, did you hear about that? I mean, the Democrat nominee accidentally spoke the truth. Did you hear about that? She actually said in the speech, I got the quote right here, she said, "We are going to raise taxes on the middle class." She accidentally spoke the truth, but she quickly corrected it. And really, just earlier today, I heard that she was called out by the press for saying that the FBI director hadn't concluded that she had been dishonest and mishandled emails. And what she said today was that she had short-circuited her remarks. Well, let me say, men and women of Wisconsin,
Her brain.
for the sake of our security, for the sake of our prosperity, for the sake of preserving the highest standards of integrity in the highest office in the land, let's decide here and now that Hillary Clinton will never be elected president of the United States. They tell us this economy is the best that we can do.
That's awesome.
The morning after Hillary's speech, official Washington put out the numbers. 1.2% growth in our GDP. The slowest economic recovery since 1949. They tell us this economy is the best we can do, but Donald Trump and I know it's not the best we can do. It's just the best they can do. And when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, we're going to cut taxes, balance budgets, negotiate strong trade deals, repeal Obamacare, and we're going to put the American people back to work. And their record abroad is just as bad as their record here at home. 7.5 years of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's policies have weakened America's place in the world. Terrorist attacks at home and abroad, grim and heartbreaking scenes. Our ally in France, a Catholic priest just days ago, laid to rest after being murdered in the very pew of his own church.
Where's the outrage?
You know, history teaches us that weakness arouses evil. And the weak leadership of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton on the world stage has aroused the enemies of freedom around the world. Whether it's moving red lines, feigning resets with Russia, or paying ransom to terrorist-sponsoring states. We cannot have 4 more years apologizing to our enemies and abandoning our friends. America needs to be strong for the world to be safe, and on the world stage, a President Donald Trump will lead with American strength. Donald Trump will rebuild our military, stand by our troops, defend our allies, confront radical Islamic terrorism, and Donald Trump will destroy ISIS at its source. the choice could not be more clear. If you leave here tonight, go find your neighbors and friends and say it all comes down to this. It's change versus the status quo.
That's right.
It really is. The American people can elect someone who literally personifies the failed establishment in Washington, D.C. An establishment now that for far too long has been peopled by folks who are used to saying one thing and doing another, while they pile a mountain range of debt on our children and our grandchildren. Or we can do what you all have done. And come November, we can choose a leader, a truth teller, someone who will stand strong on the world stage and fight every day to